Hello there, Outliers. Niiamah Shang here, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of your journey. We're here on Outliers Edge, where we bring together game-changing leaders and entrepreneurs who are creating more possibilities for the people that they lead. And today, I have two game-changing entrepreneurs to me. Like, this is really fun. We have Melissa and Jesse Biondi. Melissa and Jesse, it's great to be in space with you. How are you all doing today?
Hey, we're great.
So amazing. We're so grateful to be on this podcast
Yes.
talking with you and your audience and getting to share a little bit about our outlier experience.
Yeah. And our
Yes.
previous conversation, if that goes anything like our previous conversation, we are going to have so much fun. So
Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
it's fun. It's fun here because I feel like y'all bring the fun. Y'all
We've
bring
been
the
told
fun.
that.
Yes, yes, and
Energy.
let us play with all of that here today. And Outliers, like, just so you know, I am so excited for this conversation here. We were talking beforehand and say, like, where do you want to go? And we realized that, like, we honestly can take the conversation in any direction, and will still be of immense value. And I want to start off here by just like sharing a bit about like how you two, basically how I've received you two, like who y'all are for me, and what where there's many different facets, but the one that right now is like stand coming out really true for me is like y'all are a stand for each other, for excellence, and for like um creative positive energy. And
Mhm.
I look at that there when I think out of all those words, the thing that is most important to me is the fact that you are a stand. You have
Mhm.
standards. It's like when I say what do you stand for? Like I with you two, I can see that clearly. And I
Mhm.
and I can see the decisions that you make and the choices you make that continue to reinforce that over and over again. And so
Mhm.
I want to just say thank you to you because I think in this world we get to meet a lot of different people, but not everyone stands for something. People are trying to
Mhm.
get something, people are trying to make things happen, but they don't, but like there's a very unique element to you because of that. I want to make sure that I bring that into this space here and just like acknowledge and tell you I appreciate it right off the bat.
Oh, we love that. Thank you.
That means a
Because
lot.
that seriously is what our mission is. I know a lot of people talk about mission and purpose and what is it that you're here to do. And honestly, we are here just to create a spark, just to create a little bit of passion within you to where you walk away saying, you know what? I can do it too. I can do it too.
Mhm.
I am worthy too. I am passionate too. I can just grab a little bit because I've been told all my life that I'm a 10 and I need to be at a 3, or you have so much energy. Can I bottle it up and spray it on myself? And I'm like, yes, you can. You have it within you. Spritz you with my frequency, energy, healing, magic, voodoo. Let's do it.
Yeah, but so many people don't feel like they can give that part of themselves. They feel like they have to limit themselves. They've been conditioned in a way where if you are at a 10, that's too much and nobody wants it. So dial it down and dumb yourself down and mute yourself and just be one of the herd. Just be
The
one
sheep.
of the sheep that's going about doing what everybody else is doing. Don't stand out. Make sure that you fit in. And we don't believe in that. We believe that every single person is truly unique and beautiful and amazing, and that we are all the same person, just in multiple factions. So
Different gifts that we have to share with each
yeah,
other.
and we
The
have to recognize these things in each other. We can't walk around and us look at you, Niiamah, and be like, he's not a part of us. He's a stranger. He doesn't belong with us for whatever reason. Like, it doesn't matter. You are not just our brother. You are us. You are me. You are Melissa, and we are all each other, and we are all made of the same stuff. And if we could just freaking realize that, man, this world would just
and
start to get better.
And your gifts, you bring out of people what they need to say. I heard you so many times during our first meeting that you were saying, "Well, what I heard was," and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh, that was good,"
Mhm.
because you actually pull out what someone says and you rephrase it in a way that just is so tangible that your audience is just like, "Wow, that I didn't understand what they were saying, but I understand what you are saying, and that is you."
Well, I'm receiving that right now. I'm receiving that here, and I'm excited. That's it. I'm genuinely excited to play with this year. I can't wait to see what gets pulled out of each of us here. Like,
Mhm.
and to play as two peers or three peers in here to just like keep growing each other. Because what I
Mhm.
Mhm.
found on in these conversations is that the more that we grow, if we can leave this conversation, each of us with our own insight from this conversation in some way, shape, or form, while just talking, you know,
Yes.
then
Yes.
like then everyone wins.
Yeah.
Everyone wins.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I can I say something
please
about
do.
that before we dive in? I would just like to encourage every listener as you're listening to this podcast, any podcast that you listen to, throw away any part of you that has any kind of preconceived notion of what you
Stigma.
believe or any stigma about any topics, and just be open-minded to letting your opinions change. So many people can't have conversations where they can grow and change because they're so set in their opinions. I live my life in a way where all my opinions are just in a flow state, and they can change at any moment as soon as I get better information. So I just want to encourage people as we do this, because we are going to be talking about things that will challenge some perceptions and will try to like tug at people, and there could be some resistance. So as we go forward, just be open, be free to grow and learn from this conversation.
And remember, a mirror is never easy to look at oftentimes. Oftentimes, you have a mirror in front of you, and most people don't even look at themselves in their eyes or really take a moment to look at themselves and tell themselves that they love it. Love them. They love their soul. They love their insides. They're looking at their hair or their makeup or their body or their outfit. But what I encourage you to do is think of life, think of everyone around you, think of this podcast, think of all of this as a mirror, and it's a mirror to help you grow, to see yourself and to see others in the way that you see yourself, because the way that I look at Jesse is completely different than the way that you're looking at Jesse right now.
Hmm.
The way that each other, we're looking at you pretty much almost the same, but we are looking at you a little bit differently. We each have our own perception, and we hear things that maybe the other person didn't stick out. So just remember that we are mirrors to each other, and the more
Hmm.
experience that we can share with each other, the more that we can grow as a human race. Remember, we are all human. We are here to guide each other, to teach each other, to grow, to have adventures, to have fun, and just be a society. And once we realize that and really come together and stop the hatred and the division and everything that we've been programmed. Remember, this is programming, guys. You can get out of it at any
Hmm.
moment. You could say, nah, don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to choose love and compassion and peace. But the mirror is something that is guiding you. So just remember, mirrors aren't a bad thing.
Okay, that was our
That was it.
spiel. Now let's get on with the podcast.
Hot diggity, you two. I love this here. Like outliers, as you can see, we are in for a treat because like honestly, because y'all give, you're givers. That's I take that, and I just got done a conversation with the client, and it was along the lines of like, look, when you have a massive cup and that cup is overflowing because there's so much abundance in your world, like it spills waterfalls,
Mhm.
and that is what I feel right now with y'all. I'm like, just yes, yes to all of it. What I want to do is give outliers here a chance to get some context, right? And so because we're going to be spending yeah, I have found that when I give people context as to, like, who the two of you are, we can then go and spend the rest of the conversation talking about like the high level things and like the deeper things, knowing that like I don't know, it's not like you just heard it off like another podcast and came and repeated. Like you've lived, you've accomplished, and so forth. So would you mind here? And we're really good. We're really really good right now with you like bringing the highlight reel, but bringing all of you. Like I have a thing I call like the brag zone. I'm like
Mhm.
like bring it in, and it's not about bragging about your past. It's also about like it's the people that we talk to have such huge visions that if we can't talk about what we've done in the past, like it doesn't leave room for what's coming up next. So would you
Mhm.
mind like sharing a bit about y'all from a professional, from the mission, like the epic things that you're up to right now? Would you mind bringing that into this space so that the rest of our conversation we have a bit of context for as to like where everything goes?
Yeah,
Sure.
so I'll start a little bit of my background. So, as you've heard, my name is Jesse Biondi. I have been a musician my entire life since I was 3 years old. I started playing music. I'm 40 now, for context, so it's been a minute of playing music. I majored in cello when I was in college. I toured the country playing lead guitar and lead singing in bands my whole life. Now I'm a solo musician slash music producer. My heart is really in production. I like bringing music to life and really being as creative as possible in that. outside of that passion of mine, I am the partner with my beautiful wife in our business, Creative Global Branding. We'll go into that in just a moment. Back on my music for just a second, I will be releasing a brand new, or I've just released a brand new single. By the time this podcast comes out, is called Magic. You could find it on all the streaming platforms under Jesse Biondi. But I'm really excited because my production has just grown and grown and grown over the last few years, and this is my best work by far. But we do a lot of really creative things in our lives. We had our own podcast called Reimagine Success, which we're about to bring back into the world soon. Melissa's got a whole resume that she's about to talk about, so I'll let her go, and then we'll talk about our business that we do together.
Well, as you all know, I'm Melissa Biondi. I've actually gone by Melissa Leellen Biondi, if you know me pre-Biondi. But I was on the show, Discovery Channel show, Naked and Afraid, where I went out into the Panamanian jungle, survived 21 days with no food, clothes, shelter, given any water, anything like that, survived. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that goes back to resilience, that resiliency mindset. I was adopted when I was very young. I was about 4 years old, and I was taken out from social services from my birth mother for abuse. So survival has been my whole thing my entire life. I've always been in survival mode. My high school years up until I moved out when I was 15 years old. So from my adoptive family. So the thing that I want to share with everyone is that survival mode is a way that keeps you bogged down in life. And what I have learned over the years is that when you figure out your passions, and you can fail and you can struggle and you can do all the things that may come along with learning your passions, learning who you are as a human. But I started Creative Global in 2009. I was working for a heating and air conditioning company. I was their director of marketing. I was like the youngest. I was like 19 years old, and here I am in leadership, C-suite kind of level. So I helped develop the heating and air conditioning company. But then from there, I really found out that I was not meant for corporate America. I was not meant for the rat race. I was not meant for the 9 to 5. And it was a struggle bus. I started off 9 to 5, and then it turned into, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and sometimes later. And it was just nonstop. And I realized that wasn't the life that I wanted to live. I wanted to live a life of freedom and on my terms, and that I knew I had a lot to give to the world. So that's when I actually started Creative Global. It started off as Creative Global Entertainment. Now it's Creative Global Branding. But we went full circle. In 2020, the business had to stop because of COVID. We were 100% in the event space. I was working for big clients, Delta, Coca-Cola, GoPT, Makeup Forever, McDonald's, working for the really big companies doing their go-to-market product strategy launches, and really getting out in the public, figuring out what it is that the consumer wanted to see from that client. That was kind of where I was. I was in the strategy side. So when all the events stopped, everything stopped, we really refocused. I also met Jesse during 2020.
Yep.
We got married 2021, and we really just dove into the company with each other head first and said, you know what, this is something that we want to do together. This is a partnership. We're a partnership. We're a marriage. We work together. We parent together. We do it all together. And this is another thing that we really have found a passion to help other businesses really thrive and succeed, and figure out not only about their business, but about them, their mindset, what it is that they really are passionate about, and get them to a place of an abundance mindset that a lot of entrepreneurs are wearing all the hats. They're figuring out everything that they need to be doing every single day. And it's a lot for entrepreneurs. So what we do is we go in and try to help them figure out the best solutions needed for their organization to tailor to their, say, marketing needs, operations needs, and we dive into the processes with them. So it's an ongoing thing that we're constantly learning. AI has come out in the last 3 years, and
it's changed everything,
just
everything. And you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to go on the fly, changing things up. And every single day we're changing our processes. We're finding the new best ways to get things done. And we're helping clients to get out of the box of what people think. A lot of people, when they, start a business, they're like, well, I know I need social media. And yeah, that's should cover it. Well, I mean, like there's so many other forms of marketing, and with us both being extreme creatives, we're able to see every angle. And we have a psychologist, a doctor of psychology on our team. She's our COO, and she approaches it from this whole other realm of the
Yeah.
way the mind works and how people need to operate so that the way the marketing is going towards them and it hits them in the right ways. And so it just gives us this really unique perspective between the three of us to come up with these out of the box, really creative ideas to help people to be more visible, have better product launches, or, you know, bring things to market that they really want to shine in.
Yeah. And sometimes it's motivating their staff. I mean, we've gone into companies where we've just motivated their team and said,
Mhm.
hey, you know what? We value you. Your employers value you. That's why we're here. They want you to know how valuable you are as an organization. And we've actually turned down clients, good paying clients, you know, due to the fact that their mission or their purpose or their values were not aligned with ours. Because that is one thing, we are heart driven, we are community centered, and we are a company that focuses on community and focuses on collaboration. We actually have merchandise out there that says collaboration over competition, because we are not about competition here.
Mhm.
We are about collaborating with our success partners, with our vendors, with our partners, whoever is working with us. We want to really help elevate not just us, but their clientele. We want their clients to have an amazing customer service experience as well, because it all boils down to customer service, operations, marketing, and really making sure that your business is set up properly from the foundation. If you have cracks in your foundation, if it's seeping water, if things are going through it, then it's not going to be level ultimately. How many years can foundation go if it's cracked, or if it's unleveled? Your house is going to fall down. Like, you need to make sure that that foundation is solid and you have a really good idea of where you want it to go, which is oftentimes why we go in the back end.
Mhm.
Where do you want this company to go? And this is what I would say to anyone out there that has a business, is starting a business, looking at figuring out what they want to do next with their business. Look at the long term. Look at where you want your business to go. Do you want it to be a legacy? Do you want to sell your business? Do you want to give your business to your child? Do you want the business to dissolve? Like, what is it that you really want to do for the business? And then we'll work backwards in order to help you get there.
Yeah. And through all that, because we're so passionate about foundation and balance and all of these things, I had a vision, I guess about a year and a half
Yeah.
ago, where I saw this symbol that looked like this. And it was a 4-pillar symbol that was mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And it's all okay. Are you all okay? And so this is the movement that we've started called All Okay,
Mhm.
where we are giving tips for people on how to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually all okay. And we are helping to connect people with counseling and giving them resources as needed. And we're partnering with some other organizations like the Powerful Project, You Are the Power.
I have to look.
Yep, and Spike Cohen. And so like a lot of these great organizations that are just doing fantastic things, the Redmond Art Foundation, we're working with all these people who are trying to help bring more positivity into this world. And that's really ultimately our main mission, is to see this world just become the positive, amazing place that we believe it can be if people would just wake up and realize who we actually are.
Mhm. And thank you for giving us context here, right?
That was a
I,
lot.
yeah, but like, there's a lot going on in your world, like
Yeah.
like you know what I'm saying, like, and this is the part that like you chose to share today in this conversation, you know.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's
So
just a smattering of
right,
what's going on in our world.
it, like, but like, and like I love, I personally get, like, it puts a smile on my face here, right? Because let's say you were talking earlier about like being a lot, you know, or people saying you're a
Mhm.
lot, and like uh us outliers, we get that, we get that
Mhm.
a lot. And I remember putting myself through some training. It's like a game that I played, I call it training now, but a game that I played where I was like, I'm actually going to look for people to say that for me, to me. And then when they say it, at first I was just going to say, you know, thank you, and have that work its way out and go through my nervous system and kind of neutralize it. But I realized, I'm like, no, 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 no. Not everyone on this planet can bring what I bring. Not everyone on this
Mhm.
planet, like for the problems that, like, there are certain problems that you need someone who's a lot. or
Yeah.
at least you can't you can't get it through with someone who's being a little right now, and so there was a part that I played the game and I started going to people. I'm like, when they said like you're allowed or they showed something, I was like, well, you're welcome,
Mhm.
and because there'll be a day where you may need this. And so
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that y'all show up as you, and you exemplify this, and that like what I just know to be true is just like whatever, like everything you said right here is only a part of what's going on,
Mhm.
Mhm.
only a part of what's going on. So let me ask you this. This is something we talked about in our first conversation, but it still strikes me like usually I have a conversation and I'm like, okay, I think we got that covered. We're like, let's see where the next conversation goes. But you two really brought in something that I just felt would be so valuable for outliers that I'm going to make sure we at least bring this in. And it was something around like you give a lot, you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of enthusiasm toward, you're bringing more positivity in the world, and you're partnering with people to get all these things done, right?
Mhm.
Discernment.
Hmm.
That like I'm very like I would love to bring in here like how do y'all choose? Like is it just like yeah, let me put it in this way. How do you choose where to focus your energies,
Mhm.
even though there's a lot of energy that can be got? Maybe it's not even though. Let me take that back. Especially because you have so much energy that could be given.
Mhm.
So I would love for y'all, if you don't mind, just bringing that in real quick. I'm like, let's jump off from that place.
Well, we've definitely had to be a lot more cautious more lately than
Mhm.
before. When we first got together and we started Creative Global, we were like, all right, just we'll do everything. It doesn't matter, and we got ourselves into some pretty bad situations with some clients that were I mean, borderline abusive as far as, like with their expectations and the
Right.
way they talked to us and our staff and the people we were with. And so we had to start putting up some pretty heavy
Boundaries.
boundaries. Yeah. Some really hard lines in the sand where we said, all right, this is who we are and this is who we aren't. And it's more important, honestly, sometimes for you to decide who you aren't versus who you are, because who you are is changing a lot
Every day.
every day. But who you aren't, the things that you are vehemently against and that you don't believe in, you don't stand for these things, those generally stay pretty consistent throughout your life. So if you can really figure out, all right, so I don't like negativity. I don't like working with people who are only about money and don't care
Greed.
about, the community or the people that their clients are. Like they're just so hyper focused on that corporate greed. Like we don't want to work with that. We don't want to work with people who don't respect other people's time or don't know how to talk to people in a mature and professional manner. So like
Communication.
these are things that we've said, okay, we're drawing hard lines with this.
Mhm.
And if the people cross these lines, we will, tell them, hey, this is what's happening. We'll give them a chance to grow and change and do what needs to be done. But ultimately, our job isn't to help everybody on their path to reach their final destination. Our job is to make sure that our path stays in the direction that it's headed. And one person can derail you from that path extremely
Distractions.
quickly. Oh
Distractions.
my gosh.
Distractions happen all day long when you are working towards something and all of a sudden you see this come up, you see this come up, you have a phone call, you have this, and then you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I am focused on this right now, and now all of a sudden I'm getting distracted by a million things around me.
Mhm.
So that's where boundaries have been so crucial, and not just our business but also our personal life.
Mhm.
You have to make sure that you have clear boundaries set up on what it is that you want. Remember, this entire world is energy and frequency,
Mhm.
and it's about figuring out who you are and where you vibrate at and who you want to vibrate with. Remember, you surround yourself with the people who vibrate at your vibration. So sometimes look around at your friends, look around at your family, look around at your coworkers, figure out what it is that you want to vibe around and then gravitate toward that. Because I'm telling you, we have 9 billion humans in the world. There is going to be someone out there that's going to vibe at your same frequency. Your mission is to find that vibration that vibrates with you And then also to give back. Like it's all about a give and take. We give and we take, and we have to give and take in gratitude. We're not giving because we want something back. That is not what giving is. That's not what giving a present is. That's not what, holidays necessarily are about. It's what consumerism has turned all of our holidays and all of our gift giving into, because now we are expecting to give something back, and now we have to go get a gift because somebody bought us something. That's not what giving is about. And that's giving time, energy, physical gifts, love, emotion, spirituality, whatever you're giving. It's about really that you want to give it. I really want to give all to this podcast. So if someone out there needs anything that we are saying that is flowing through me and is flowing out of my mouth and is flowing right into this microphone, so that way you as a listener can hear it and you can really gravitate toward what we are saying, because what we're saying is that you ultimately are your decision maker. You make your decision every single day, what path you're going to go down. Are you going to choose the same path that you chose yesterday, or are you going to do something exciting and new and adventurous today that you may not even know that you want to do? But that is your decision every single day in order to make those choices. And those choices are so critical for your growth, and so critical for the person that you're going to be tomorrow, and the legacy that you're going to leave behind, and the children, and you are a mentor to someone. You don't know it, but you are. And it's what you are leaving behind as a legacy.
Yeah. And the thing is like most people can tell when their vibration is off from other people, even if you're not into vibrations and frequency and all, and you think that's woo woo stuff. And all of us spiritual people talking about vibrations and frequency, you don't want to listen. When you're with somebody and their energy is different than yours and it just doesn't feel right. I said earlier, I'm a musician. I put everything into musical terms. So if I'm singing this note, and the person I'm with is just below me, those two notes together are going to just clash unbelievable until it's just really uncomfortable. And that's how energy works. When you're with somebody with a clashing energy, it's like having a note that's really dissonant and you just want it to stop. And sometimes the problem is if you don't leave that note, then your note is going to get pulled down to match that note. So if that's at a lower vibration than what you're vibrating at, they are going to pull you down. So we have decided in our lives, we are going to get away from any notes that are causing us dissonance in our lives. Anything that's causing us to feel that discomfort in us, that's a painful, like this doesn't sit well with my soul kind of discomfort. Not, oh, they're making me feel challenged. They're pushing these things on me to make me better. No, not those kind of discomforts. Those are good. You want people to stretch you, to grow you. But when people are lower vibrational than you and it's dragging you down, you have to make hard decisions sometimes. This last 3 years, we have lost so many friends, not because we are bad people or anything. We had to remove people from our lives because they weren't on the same path that we were on, and it was keeping us from going forward to the place that we knew that we had to be. And those relationships were not worth the future that we are making for ourselves in a trade.
I want to stress that when you necessarily cut someone out of your life, it's not that you don't love that person. It's not that you aren't thankful for everything they've done, because a lot of people stay in each other's lives because of something that happened in the past. Something that they're like, I'm so forever grateful because they were with me through this experience, or they helped me through this. But what we have to remember is that there's a reason, a season, and forever. And a reason and a season isn't forever. That's not the same thing. We are in each other's lives at times for reasons and seasons, to help each other to grow, to be mirrors, like I talked about earlier. But remember, some things aren't forever. And oftentimes we'll kind of do this with people. Have you been like this? I had a high school friend, and then we're here and we're like really, really close. And then now we're over here. And then 15 years later, maybe we're here and we're like, oh yeah, let's catch up. And then now we're over here. The thing is life is such like a DNA strand. You have to remember it's an ebb and flow. It's a constant change. It's a revolution of what you want in your life. And it's not that you're leaving anybody behind. That's not it at all. You are just saying, I love you so much that I want you to go on your path while I go on my path. And I support you through your entire journey. I love you and I want the best for you, the absolute best for you. But right now, there's just a lot going on and you're on your path and I'm on mine. And it's as simple as that sometimes. Just say, I love you. I love you, but not right now. Like,
Yeah.
be bold. One thing that we can say to all the listeners is to be bold. Say it. Say the hard things. Say the weird things. If you don't want to be around someone because of their energy, say, I don't want to be around you because of your energy. I have done that before.
Yeah. People don't like to hear it, but would you rather us say, hey, our energy just isn't aligning anymore? Or would you rather us make up some lame excuse of why we can never get together?
I'm washing my hair.
I'm just ghosting you. I'm not answering your calls. I'm being shady now. So rather than lower my vibration, I'm just going to be honest and say, hey, I love you. We just don't match up anymore. You're going in a different direction than me. I got to go this way. You're going that way. So good luck on your path. I really wish you well, but I'm going to go on mine. And I'm actually writing a book about this. It should be out, hopefully, fingers crossed, early 2025. But it's called Toxic Loyalty. And it just talks about how we're so loyal to things. Like Melissa was saying, you went through all these experiences with somebody. You had these formative years of your life. And now you feel like they have to be a part of your life forever. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be job, it could be religion, it could be culture. Whatever those things are that you feel loyal to because it influenced you in such a way that you can't let it go. You need to look at why you can't let it go, especially if it's not serving you anymore.
Right. What did it fulfill?
Yeah.
What did that relationship or that system, what did it fill in your life? Did it fill community? Because that's what most of it does. It fills that void of community. And that's where you need to look in. There's so many communities out there that need you and your gifts, that need your frequency, and they need you.
But it's being wasted with these people that shouldn't be in your life at all, and you should have gotten rid of them a long time ago, but now they're holding you captive and your gifts captive and your potential captive, and it's just being squandered because you can't say the hard thing and draw those hard lines, make those boundaries, and then move into a area where you will thrive, you will be amazing, and everybody will welcome you open arms, and it'll be a much better situation.
Remember, if you do anything out of compassion and empathy, it is the right decision. Compassion and empathy. Just remember that with any decision that you make in life. Am I doing this with compassion? And am I doing this with empathy? And if you say yes to both of those things, then it's the right decision.
So I appreciate y'all. Like, some of the things that I'm playing out here as you're talking here is really simply like this component of being both positive and like honest, right? So one of the things that I appreciate, like, it really called to me. This is why I brought it back into this conversation here, because like y'all have good energy, right? Like you look at the brighter things and of things, you find the positive elements in it. Like you have a lot of really great things working for you, and at the same time, you're not caricatures of yourself, right? What I hear is like you're not martyrs to yourself either, and so let me pull out some of the things I hear. One, I hear that you, like, I used the word stand earlier in our conversation. I think that this shows up again here right now, right? Where it's like you are such a stand for like what you believe in, where you're headed, the impact you want to make in this world, so on and so forth, that like it acts as its own filter. And it's like, if you can't stand beside me on this here, I love you. I think you're great. It's just like there's something that is pulling me forward, and I'm going to continue to move in alignment with that. Am I getting that right? Let me just there's something else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, allies, I'm going to pull this to you here and just ask, like, what do you stand for? What are the things where, like, because what realistically, my people, like, we believe in belonging, and we don't we don't want to leave anyone behind. It comes up a lot, and when I'm talking to clients, and it's like, we also focus on like, how do we keep leveling up? And that's different than just doing more of the same, doing a lot of the same. It's actually like stepping up where you've been, like being able to do it on a higher and higher level. And when that happens, that's like, especially with people that I'm sure y'all know this from experience, when you start rapidly increasing the levels in which you're playing, you start to see the people that you were who were able to keep up or who were keeping up with you start to fall away because they're still doing great work at a level or two below where you are at this moment. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I appreciate this because there's a cleanliness to what you're saying here, where it's like in the path of growth, there is still like, well, I'll put it in this, I'll say it in this way. One, like, know what you stand for and allow that to take height, and have the conversations there. Unless you're really wonderful around like how you can still be empathetic to it,
Mhm.
to the people there, but also say like, and we're moving here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I get the sense that like, it's just coming to me here. I get the sense that like, if they come and they join you later on, and they're like, hey, by the way, like this is where my energy's at now. This is what I'm creating. And like it's like, great. Glad to see you back here. Like we're back in
Yeah. Open
alignment.
arms. Come on.
Yeah.
More the
Yeah.
merrier.
Yeah. I get that. And I want to bring this in here. The last thing I'll say is the honesty part.
Mhm.
Because I feel like you talk about washing your hair and such, like, speak, if you don't mind, speak to the honesty part. And right now we're looking at honesty through the lens of like continuing to grow beyond where you have been beforehand. We can kind of have that as subtext, but I would really love to hear from y'all, like how honesty continues to play out for you, especially like, like on my end here. I think that you have such positive outlooks that a lot of times people might, I think this is what's going on for me. It's such positive outlooks that I've experienced a lot of people who would consider that to be optimistic
Mhm.
and not
Mhm.
realistic.
Right.
And
Mm.
one of the things that I feel like I really enjoy about being with y'all is like, it's like, no, y'all are realists. Like, it's just like, what's real is I got something really big going on and it needs my attention.
Yeah.
So can you speak to honesty here? I feel like there's something y'all are playing with that's really, really
Can I go
wonderful.
first?
Yeah, yeah,
You,
you
I think we're both chomping at the bit on this
All
because we're both really passionate about this.
right, cool. That
Um,
we're in the right place here, outliers.
Yeah, my my number one goal in life, and I say this all the time to Melissa, I say it to our kids, I say it to everybody that I can. My number one goal in life is to be the most authentic version of myself at all times, as much as possible, uh, without compromising who I am fundamentally. Now, as a business owner, that could be hard. As a father, that could be hard. What do you want to show your children? Which parts of you? As a husband, that could be hard. But the more I find that I'm my more authentic self, the more the right people come around me and see what I'm putting out into the world, and they want a part of that. Now, like you said, we are extremely optimistic. We wake up and we could have zero negative dollars in our bank account, and we're like, man, life is awesome. Why? Because we don't live for the future and we don't live for the past. We live for the very present moment. And if I'm sitting beside her on our porch watching the birds and the squirrels eat out of our bird feeders and enjoying a beautiful day, I don't care what's in my bank account. Life is awesome. And I'm choosing to dwell on the present moment where we are making the best out of every moment, every situation, always trying to have fun, always trying to enjoy what we're doing, and not dwelling on the stressful things of life. Do you know how stressful it is to be an entrepreneur in 2024? Like with this
Well,
economy?
let's make that even like more real, right? So like
Mhm.
y'all like rather than like entrepreneurs overall, like what's something that you're building right now that like most people will be like, oh, this is easy, or maybe it's something that you have recently done where it's like, hey, like on the outside it looked great, on the inside, like we were working through some things. I think it would actually really help us like to like feel what you're about right now.
Yeah. So in the background of everything that's going on, not only are we growing our success partners, so we don't have clients, we have success partners, and
Nice.
our success partners, we grow with them. Like we are really there to grow their business, and as I was saying earlier, we look at their goals. What are you looking at? What's next year? What's 5 years? What's 10 years? What's the legacy of your company? And we work towards our clients. We only want to have 11 clients. That is our goal. We want to have 11 clients, and those clients are our success partners, and we are working with them We are growing with them, and that's it. That's where we are. So when we look at everything and we're working backwards with our clients, we're really wanting to make sure that we are tailoring our energies towards their success and our success. We have a thing. It's if you're successful, we're successful, and if we're successful, you're successful. So it's like it's a tangible goal that we have where we are building a legacy for ourselves. And the back end, we are building automations, which is freaking hard. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of MX codes and IP and DNS and all of these things that we're doing back
Zapier
end.
and Integrately and
Yeah,
so
many.
high level, and we're just neck deep in everything.
So
I
basically,
feel
what
you
we're
there, by the way. I feel you
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I
If you
like
don't know what we're talking about, just we're you can make your business run itself, but it takes a lot of automations. And
it takes some work to get it. Like I say, it takes a whole lot to make it look easy. It
yes.
yes,
takes a
yes.
whole lot to make it look easy.
Yeah,
Yep.
and after 2020, when the first kind of leg of the business transitioned into more of a digital landscape space, it took, like Jesse said, we were just kind of scrounging. We were anything that would come in, yes, yes, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. And that's when we were getting clients that did not have our best interest at heart. And we were just giving, 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 giving. And so what we've decided to do is to stop that and really have success partners, which when you stop clients, the money stops, everything stops. So
Mm.
we have gone through moments where we're like, I don't know how we're going to get through this month. I don't know what we're going to do. We've had to live on credit cards. We've had to figure it out.
I mean, the week before Thanksgiving, when 14 people in my family were supposed to stay at our house and have Thanksgiving, our car died. We went into severe debt, and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
And our car died like 3 hours away. We were with the
we were
kids.
5 hours away.
5 hours
Yes.
away. We were with the kids
Mhm.
going to a beach trip because we're like, you know what? We didn't do anything summertime. Being an entrepreneur, you get it. We were trying to do vacations with the kids. We just couldn't. So by the time September came, we were like, we are going to take our kids to the beach for a vacation. This is going to happen. Guess what? 5 hours down the road,
In the middle of nowhere.
by farms and cows, and we didn't know what to do. We had to get
Tow
a
truck.
tow truck to tow us all the way back. 5 hours in a tow truck.
Never made it to the beach. It was a tough time, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a dark time for us in a lot of ways, and yet we were still able to keep a positive attitude.
No one would know. No
Yeah,
one would
no one.
absolutely know that we were our close people. But if you just walked up to us on the street, we're not going to be like, "Oh, woe is me!" Like all these things are. No, hey, how are you? You're amazing. You look good in that
Yeah,
sweater.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our financial situation didn't change how good life really is. I mean, we live on 2 acres of land that backs up to a nature preserve. We've got all these woods behind us and a creek that runs through it. And when we get stressed during the middle of our workday, if there's something that's just crazy, we'll say, "Want to go to the woods?"
Yeah.
And we'll go on a hike in our woods, and we'll get in the river. And one thing that we love to do is our stream. It when we first moved in, it was really wide and sloppy, and there was just
Was it
water
ditch?
everywhere.
Actually, it
Yeah,
had zero water.
yeah, once it started running, it was wide and sloppy. So we had to carve a path through there. And what if you've never done this, it's really cool because once you create a path for the water to go, it all kind of comes together and flows smoothly. Well, what a lot of people's problems are is everything in their life is wide and sloppy, and they've just got it all over the place, and they're not focused on what that path needs to be. We never stopped focusing on what our path needed to be, even in our darkest times when we had negative hundreds of dollars in our bank account, and we're like, I guess we're gonna have to get corporate jobs because we can't keep doing this. We didn't. We kept the course. We kept going. We kept powering through. We kept our positive attitude, saying, no, this is where we feel called. This is what we feel is right for us, and we refuse to give up on our dreams. And now here we stand today with our river running strong in a nice carved out path because we did the work. We took the time. Our fingers were cut and bruised and bloody from scraping in the rocks and the dirt, making that path, but it's worth it because now it's beautiful and it rushes and there's all this nature and obviously the metaphor goes both
Oh,
ways, but
I'm appreciating this metaphor. I love being a good metaphor right here. I want to call in like any outlier right now because like it's interesting. I listened to a lot of podcasts like over the years, and like people would talk about like the difficult times,
Mhm.
and it wasn't until I had a difficult time until I had to ask myself like, hey, is this really gonna work? And to
Yeah.
look my partner in the eye and be like, hey, let's have a conversation. Um, I want to like I acknowledge you in that, and I really want to acknowledge any outlier right now that's in that position, to
Mhm.
take from this what they can from this year because it's different to hear it, and then
Mhm.
like you're like, well, this is why I'm listening to all these things so that it won't ever happen to me. It's like this is the game. Like sometimes you're winning by a whole lot, sometimes you're losing, but like so I appreciate you bringing that in, and we're going to start wrapping up this here, and I want to give us some space to do that. But one of the things I feel like I'm hearing from you is like as y'all keep growing, your problems keep growing too.
Mhm.
One of my coaches and mentors says, I remember him very distinctly. He's like, Niiamah, you don't have big enough problems right now. You need better problems. You need better problems.
Mhm.
And I want to bring this in here because I see you keep creating in the world. You're pivoting, you're taking things that are working, you're working with big brands, you're moving things, you're continuously being creative and finding new ways to come with it. And with those come quality problems.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I want to acknowledge you all for the way that you choose to navigate those problems. Thank you for bringing some of them into this space here because it's like yeah, as you have a lot going on. There's a lot that you're responsible for too, as well. And
Mhm.
what I like to do here is, let me make sure I say that with a period. Period. Thank you for that. As we wrap up for today, I want to do two things. One, I want to make sure that any outlier listening right now, I want to make sure that they know how they can continue down your journeys. It might be like what each of you are doing individually and then together. But let's just create some space right now first for any outlier who's like, I want to be in their world. I want to support what they're doing. I'm a stand for what they're stand for, and more. How can they best continue down the journey?
Yeah, we would love to stay in touch with
Mhm.
everyone. The best way is creativeglobal.rocks, and that's ROCKS, because you rock. And I am Melissa Llewellyn.rocks. I have a coaching program. I help inspire and motivate, do some motivational healing with you as well. And Jesse is.
Jesse Biondi.rocks. That's where you'll find all my music and everything that I'm doing there with production. If you're a musician and you want to have music produced, hit me up. I love producing records. And if you're a small business owner or a medium business owner or a large business owner and you want to work with people who are out of the box creatives, just head over to creativeglobal.rocks and hit the free consultation button there because we'd love to help you to go on your journey. Like we said, we're very passionate about the people we work with. And if you feel like you're connected to our mission and the things that we said resonated with you, then you're probably a good fit for somebody that we're looking for to work with because we're very picky about who we want as our success partners. Because when we get involved with people, boy, do we get involved.
Oh, yeah.
And so if
Funny, real quick, I'm going to do a story. So I had a client that I worked with for about a year was our contract. And at the end of the year, because I was going on and doing other things, at the end of the year, the owner, we were doing like this farewell kind of party. The owner came up and was doing this farewell speech. And he said, Melissa is the first person who has ever walked through the doors on day one and act like she owned the place.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
is that is
Yeah,
exactly who I am.
that's how we operate, and we're looking for those people who really want to do something big. Like,
Because you own the
yeah.
company, but we want to be there too. Like I will walk into a business and act like I own it, not because I'm taking it from you or anything like that, because I want to see it successful and I believe in it.
Yeah,
So
it's a
anytime
high
that
level
I
of
see a
ownership.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
you have
because
to. You
yeah,
have to.
because anytime you ever see it's like sales for me. I can't sell something I don't believe in. I can't
Mhm.
partner with something I don't believe in. And the goal of everything isn't positivity. The goal is self-acceptance. And when you remember that you are there to learn and to grow and to know all the parts of you, because we have all the parts of us right here, right inside of our bodies, light, dark, heavy, everything is right inside of us. And once you love all the parts of you, it's self-acceptance. And once you master self-acceptance, then it doesn't matter what's going on. This is just environment.
These are all just experiences.
Yeah.
People take life way too serious, and I know we're trying to wrap it up, but I gotta say this: stop taking life so serious. It's just an experience. It could be a hard experience. It could be an amazing experience. It could be a really sad experience. It could be a fantastic experience. It's just an experience. The second it's over, it's gone. It's done. It's you. It's your brain. It's your inability to let go of whatever happened that's holding you captive in that experience and making you a prisoner to whatever uncomfortable things that you've had happen in your life. It's up to you to pick a day on the calendar. I don't care. June 22nd of next year. Fine. Whatever. That's the day you're going to get over it. Then from now until June 22nd of next year, be miserable. But on June 22nd, get over it. And then you're going to realize how ridiculous that is, that you're going to wait a year and 2 days from when we're recording this podcast to get over something. And you're going to say to yourself, man, I could do that sooner. Maybe I'll do it in August. Well, that's stupid too. Let me just do it now. Like, don't put off things in your life because you're stuck in a moment. That moment is gone. It's not coming back. You're the only one that's still living there.
Remember, you have 1 trillion parts to yourself. Love them all.
Yeah.
We're going to end here with one thing here. And this one I'm going to need it to be a little quick here, but with even as I asked that, I know that's gonna be even more intense. So don't lose the intensity around it, right? I end these conversation with to ask you to leave a message for your future self, right? A message that, like, with the wisdom you have right now, what's a message that would be really beneficial for you to hear 10 years from now, right? I'd like to have each of you do it individually. We'll start with Melissa, then we'll go to Jesse, and then we are done for today.
So my future 10-year-old self, I would say to you to love yourself, to make sure that whatever you're doing in this world, that you're passionate about it and that you are living for freedom. Remember, it's not about anything that's going around you. Your mission is to love, and your mission is to conquer your own fears and to heal. So everything that we've gone through, heal from it. And love the journey. Just love the journey. Whatever is around you, love it.
Thank you for that. And Jesse.
Mine would be stay excited, stay open, and always just put learning new information above all other things, because the more you learn, the more you grow, the more powerful you are, and the more you'll accomplish in this world. If you stop learning, you'll stop growing. And if you stop growing, you die.
And here we have it, Outliers. Melissa, Jesse, I'm so pleased with this conversation. I'm grateful for you two and the way that you show up in this world. Thank you for bringing your experience to Outliers here, and for really helping us see, like, hey, for like where we can channel energy in a way that continues to grow with us, as opposed to apologizing for or creating elements that make it quote unquote easier for others. The way you be in the world is really awesome, and I'm wishing you all the best. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Niiamah. Appreciate you.
We love being on the podcast, so thank you.